Hi everyone, Eric here with Smart Contract Audit Token, doing the closeout report for our Fund 6 Improve and Grow Auditability proposal. So for this one, we submitted into this category, and the purpose of it was to improve the auditability of Catalyst overall. And so I think for a lot of people, one of the big concerns that they have with Catalyst in general is how is that money being spent? How are we ensuring that it's actually being spent on things that are going to grow and improve the ecosystem versus people just kind of pocketing the money? So in order to counteract that risk or that worry that people have, we designed a program where we wanted to begin reviewing expenses that teams were incurring. So, every quarter or, periodically, everyone would be submitting their expense data, and we would go through and review it and look at receipts that were there and get an idea of how money is being spent. The thought process around that is that, teams that are incurring legitimate business expenses, that's a really good sign that they're, making progress and working towards their goal. The total requested funds for this proposal were 15,000 USD. We do not plan on requesting any additional funds. What we have will cover it, and in its current form, I don't think that there's going to be significant other expenses that we would need to submit additional proposals. All right, so as we get started, the first thing that I'd like to point out is that the final project that we're completing here is different than what we had initially proposed in our Fund 6 proposal. So our initial plan was that we wanted to have every single project that is getting funded through Catalyst being subjected to this expense monitoring and review, so that if you are getting funded, that you would be subjected to testing, and that every quarter everyone would submit their expenses, and we would look through them and look at receipts and tie it back to the wallet and just get an idea how Catalyst funding is being spent by everybody. But to do something like this, you have to have a certain amount of authority, because if we just say, hey, everybody send us your expenses, that's, we can't compel anybody to do that. So we had talked with Catalyst a bit for it and trying to get that implemented, and they eventually decided that that's not something that they would want to force everybody to do. And that's no problem with that. They can do whatever they want, but it changes the approach a little bit. If everybody is not subjected to it, then that plan doesn't really work. So we had initially gone through and made our presentation for it, and then after figuring out that we're not able to implement that, we decided to pivot over to what we currently have. So let's take a look at that next. So we created a website called catalystaudit.com, and it serves two main purposes. One of them is people can write articles about Catalyst, things that they're concerned about, things that they're interested about, anything that they want to kind of bring awareness to, or show off to the community. Anybody that's interested can reach out, and we're happy to grant them access, and they can go ahead and do that. And then the other purpose is the primary one, which is to show or host expenses that people submit. So we ended up submitting ours for Fund 5 and Fund 6. We'll do that for Fund 8 that we want as well. And again, any team that wants to do this, they can reach out. We'll send them up with access, and they can, anyone can upload whatever they want. Maybe over time we'll develop some standards, or what's kind of their standard approach to doing it. But we just did what we thought made sense. So I created, kind of an income statement based on what we've received and what we spent. I included some commentary about, the original budget, how it compared to that, a breakdown of how it was spent. So it's kind of basic, but it gives all that information. And then also there's a Google Doc that I attached there, and people can go through and see every single expense item. If there's receipts that attached to it, or that are related to it, they can go through and see that. And so that's the basic idea of it. And again, it's not something that's mandatory. It's something that anybody can choose to do if they want to. But we think that the community would appreciate that, and that by being transparent with how money is being spent, it gives them a reason to want to continue supporting us in the future and keep voting for our proposals. All right, so there you have it. With the remaining funds that we have, we're going to be sponsoring some articles for it. So if there's any writers out there that want to write some content about Catalyst that would be informative to the community, please reach out, and we can get you set up with that. If anybody would like us to review the expense information that you put up, it's one thing to share it, but another thing to have somebody look through it, look at the receipts, kind of look over all that kind of stuff. We'd be happy to do that as well, although that, of course, is not required. And if anybody would like to reference in the auditability section going forward and say, hey, we're going to be sharing our expense data using this website, please feel free to do that as well. And so, yeah, thank you all for listening, and we'll catch you next time.